Let's start. So yesterday I was telling you how to write a critical review of a paper or an article that you have read, and we came to the point where you are you are considering the points, what to do before reading the article and points to consider while reading the article. There are a number of questions that you need to ask that need to be answered while reading an article. As such, you need to prepare an outline. I told you the outline of the notes. Basically, you need to make notes while reading the article and make sure that you outline only those points that are relevant to the thesis, okay, relevant to the central purpose, okay, the points that express the central purpose or thesis of your review. Everything else you need to discard, and you need to organize the remaining points into different groups depending on which particular area they correspond with. Okay, you have to give points for, let's suppose, structure, style, arguments, all of that. Now, once you are done with that, you make the first draft. Okay, the first draft or the first copy of your own review. So the next thing will be write the first draft. Now, you need to begin the review by writing or citing that particular paper. Now, let's suppose you are reading only one paper and you are reviewing that one paper. Then you will have to write down the citation of that paper only. If you are reading multiple papers, then you'll have to cite all of those papers. Now, I'll give you one example. For, let's suppose, reading about a paper. Okay. This is the citation of one paper. So what does this citation indicate? That the author of that paper is Platt, Kevin M.F. Platt. Okay? That is a single name. The name of that paper was History and Despotism, or Hayden White versus Ivan the Terrible and Peter the Great, Rethinking History. Okay? It has been published in the third what do you call in the third edition of the third volume in 1999, and the page numbers that it occupies is 247 to 267. Sometimes beside this before this page number 247 to 267, in some styles of citation you will also mention the journal it has been published in. Okay? Here it is not mentioned, but generally you do mention. Now there are several styles of what you call citation. You will have MLA style, Modern Language Association. You will have APA style, American Psychiatric Association. कितने की अलग अलग टाइप ऑफ स्टाइल्स रहते हैं. बेस्ड ऑन दैट द अरेंजमेंट ऑफ दिस पेपर विल बी डिफरेंट. ठीक है, आप नाम पहले डाल रहे हैं, जो पब्लिशर है उनका नाम पहले डाल रहे हैं, उसके बाद द नेम ऑफ द पेपर डाल रहे हैं, उसके बाद बाकी के डिटेल्स डाल रहे हैं, या यू चेंज दैट ऑर्डर. ठीक है, that will depend on the style that has what you call that the author is using and the style that the journal uses. Okay, you cannot make up a style and you cannot use that particular style. Whenever you are trying to publish one particular article, let's suppose you are publishing it in some journal, okay, X journal. In that journal they will follow a certain style, and they will ask the author or they will ask the publisher, please mention your papers in this style. All the references that you are writing, that should also be in the same style. Vasarata. Now you have to make sure that the same bibliographic citation should be mentioned in your review as well. जैसा citation आप जो article में पढ़ रहे हैं वैसा है, exactly same आपके review में भी रहना. Okay, that will be present in the draft. First thing. Now अब ये draft में first paragraph जो है आप जो लिखेंगे, first thing is you write the heading. That heading will be this citation. ठीक है, first paragraph ठीक है, फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ ऑफ द ड्राफ्ट, इसमें आप क्या इंक्लूड करते हैं? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल स्टेटमेंट ऑफ थीसिस। ठीक है, व्हाट इज द थीसिस अबाउट? स्टेटमेंट ऑफ थीसिस। ठीक है, द नेक्स्ट थिंग दैट you'll mention is the purpose of the author. ठीक है, the author's purpose of writing the article. Why did the author write the article? What was he hoping to, what was he or she hoping to achieve? Okay, then you have to write down your comments, basically the comments on your on that particular article in comparison to other work in the same field. Matlab, let's suppose an author has written a vertical, published a paper on treatment of tuberculosis. Okay, one new treatment on tuberculosis, one new drug is there, and they have published a paper on that. So you will write your comments. How do you think that experiment has done? Do you think the treatment is promising? Do you think that the evidence they have shown correlates with with the vertical claims that the paper is making? Is the author's word, can it be taken, vertical? Can it be applied? Basically, is it solid? वो पूरा आता आपके comments. So comments on how the article relates to other work in the same field. ठीक है, in the same field or on the same subject, better, because in the same field can be very wide, on the same subject. So you will also compare that particular article with other articles in the same subject, in the sense that अब मैं टीवी का article पढ़ रहा हूँ, वो article में जो बातें बोले, whatever is mentioned in that, is it consistent with other articles that I have read, that are widely distributed and that are widely accepted? So basically think of it this way: if you are trying to compare one textbook with the other, and you are trying to find out whether the new textbook that you are about to read is good or not. Okay, once you read the new textbook and you compare it with so let's suppose some other standard book that is present in the same subject, how does this new how does this new book fare? Meaning, how good is this new book? What are the key points of this book? How is it better than the previous book? And what are the limitations of the new book? वो पूरे comments आते हैं इसमें. ठीक है, you will also include information about the author's reputation. What kind of reputation do they hold in that field? Okay, can we take their word for granted, or what do you call, does their word have some weight behind it? Like, is it reliable? Things like that. How much experience do they have in the field? Have they published other papers? Has that what do you call, has the information they published been useful, or has it been applied? वो पूरा आता है इसमें. Okay, that is the first paragraph of your review. Then you will come to body of the review. अब बॉडी में आप इंक्लूड करेंगे योर आर्ग्यूमेंट्स एंड सपोर्ट ऑफ योर थीसिस. आप जो थीसिस बोल रहे हैं, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ थीसिस, उसके लिए यू हैव टू जस्टिफाई योर थीसिस. ठीक है, सो यू हैव टू स्टेट योर आर्ग्यूमेंट इन सपोर्ट ऑफ द थीसिस. द फर्स्ट पॉइंट विल बी state your arguments in support of your thesis. Then you have to follow ideas mapped out in your outline. ठीक है, meaning in your outline you have made a certain categorization and you have followed a certain pattern. वो pattern से follow करके, outline के pattern से follow करके you have to make up the body. All right, meaning follow the ideas. So whatever you wrote down in your notes and in your summary, उसका पूरा you have to fill that space up. For the ideas mapped out in your outline. ठीक है, while reading the article you made an outline, right? उसके ideas को follow करो. क्या, what did you feel, what can be included, वो पूरा. Then include quotations. Quotations from the article. Okay, which are helping in illustrating your main idea. Now these quotations are very important. You have to make sure that whenever you are quoting anything from the article, you have to refer it back. Meaning, अब आप कोई quote लिख रहे, for example, in the article it has quoted that X drug is working. So let's suppose there is a quote in the article saying that X drug has a T half of 8 hours. Okay? For example, this is something that is mentioned in the article. Whenever you are quoting this statement in your review, you have to make sure that as the author has quoted, X drug is working for 8 hours, or X drug has a T half of 8 hours, quoted in brackets में लिख देना, quoted in so and so para of this part of the article. It means that so and so you can apply it in this way, and these are the advantages of the drug, and so on and so forth. Your ideas after that. Okay? But quotations should be given like that. Whenever you are giving quotations, please make sure that you are referring them properly. Okay? Wherever they are present in the article, वो पूरा clearly देना. अरे right. The last part will be concluding comments. Concluding paragraph. Concluding comments. इसमें you will summarize your review. ठीक है? Write the summary of what you felt after reading the article. ठीक है? And you will restart the thesis in the sense that you will start thinking in a new perspective. अब now that you have written the first draft, ये एक बार आप लिख दिए, first draft हुआ ये, this is not the final copy that you will present. ठीक है? Let's suppose some organization is coming to you and they are asking you to review one particular paper. They'll give you one paper and tell you, please review this paper. So you will follow all of these guidelines and you will read the whole paper, you will read about the author, you will go through everything that is present in the article, and you will write your first draft of your review. Once you have written the first draft of the review, you have to revise that draft in the sense that, first of all, leave that draft for 1 or 2 days. It will allow you to gain a new perspective, a more objective perspective. Okay? After that, you can come back to that paper or to that review. The first things that you have to check is grammar and punctuation. Whatever grammar and punctuation that you have mentioned in your review, is that correct or not? Is it consistent? Second, organization कैसा है आपका review? Is it haphazard or is there a proper logical development to the review? Is it going in a proper order? ठीक है? Is there a proper support to your thesis in the vertical review that you are writing? ठीक है? आप जो thesis बोल रहे हो review में कि author ये बोले and I am claiming this, I am supporting it or I am negating it, उसके लिए आप properly जो claim कर रहे हो उसके लिए आप evidence दे रहे नहीं दे रहे, क्या है? Third one, errors in quotations or references. Check for errors in quotations and references. If you are misquoting someone, or if you are misquoting some place, or you are writing the reference wrong, ठीक है? वो पूरा आप check करना. That will be the last part of your review. Once you are done with that, you can submit the final draft, and that will be the review of your paper. ठीक है? Whatever paper that you are reviewing. So that is how critical review of a paper is done. Okay, I hope you understood how a critical paper of a review is done. If you have doubts, please let me know, or else we'll move into utilization of research findings. Okay. Now coming to this, literally means how you use research. Okay, how it can be helpful. This process will basically include synthesizing new data or disseminating research information. You're spreading research information, and you're using that research information to either change the current methodology. Let's suppose with respect to nursing itself, आप research background लेके whatever paper that you have read or research that you have done, based on the findings of your research, based on one particular study or experiment or experiments, you are trying to make a change in existing practices. You are either trying to inculcate a new practice. Let's suppose there is a new method of detection of TB. or there is a new method for let's suppose diagnosis of hypertension. Okay, rather than just using the same old method, you are trying to find a new method, okay, more effective method which can pick up much more quickly. वैसा कुछ करने की कोशिश कर रहा आप, research utilization will help you apply that, ठीक है, in changing the already set trends and to make new strides in the process of development. Now, utilization of research goes hand in hand with one particular topic, that is evidence-based practice. Okay, utilization of research is simply you are reading something, okay, reading research, you are researching something and you are applying the data. That will go in hand with evidence-based practice. They might look similar, but they're not exactly the same. The difference is that evidence-based practice will integrate, or it will combine research evidence, whatever finding that you're having in research, along with clinical expertise. So what a doctor has experienced, or what you have experienced as a nurse while working, okay, along with patient values, and you are making sure that it is cost effective to healthcare altogether. That will be evidence-based practice. You are acting based on the evidence that you have, evidence that you cultivated over a period of time, okay, over experience. If I put that whole thing in a flow chart, it basically means that, let's suppose there is some research finding, okay, let's suppose there is emergence of some research finding, okay, on any particular topic, along with uh, evidence to address a clinical problem. इसका ये दोनों का मतलब क्या है? There is one particular condition that is a clinical problem, ठीक है, you need to address that clinical problem. It will not treat itself. That is evidence to address a clinical problem, meaning you know there is a clinical problem and you need to treat it. Now there is some research that has been found which can be helpful in that case. तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं, ये दोनों को integrate कर रहे हैं, ये दोनों को मिला दे रहे हैं, ठीक है, and once you integrate both of them, you will get best research evidence which can be applied into research utilization. You can use that information, okay, whatever information that you are getting from research, and you know that there is one particular problem that needs a clinical solution, there is a clinical problem that needs a solution. Once you integrate both of those, you'll be able to get research utilization. Or if I add another step here, let's suppose I'm adding another step here, integration of findings, ठीक है, you are integrating both the findings, clinical findings and research findings, ठीक है. अब इसको अगर आप research को apply कर रहे हैं तो you are utilizing research utilization में चले जाता हो, ठीक है, utilization of findings and utilization of research. Now let's suppose whatever you find in research that you are combining with evaluation of patients. So you are integrating this with integration with other types of evidence. Now other types of evidence will include clinical trials or clinical experiments, okay, or clinical experience. It can also be patient preference, okay, what you observed in a clinic, okay. Based on this, what you get is evidence-based practice. That is the difference between RU and evidence-based practice. Okay. Research finding or research utilization will only rely on research. You have a problem in the clinic, okay, some particular disease and some particular problem, and there is some research being done on that. You integrate both of those findings and apply those findings directly without any experience, without any proper utilization. That will be research utilization. ठीक है, आप research में कुछ ढूंढ रहे हो, like you find something in research and you apply that. Now if those research findings are compiled with or they are integrated with clinical experience, so let's suppose you have लेट्स सपोज कोरोना ही ले लो, ठीक है। कोरोना के रिसर्च फाइंडिंग हुई कि लेट्स सपोज वन पर्टिकुलर न्यू ड्रग और वन old drug which was used in different conditions that is useful in this case, and the clinical problem here is corona itself. Okay, you let's suppose corona causes some particular vertical problem along with lung issues. It is causing, let's suppose, diarrhea example. Okay, it is causing some problem, or there is an X disease which is causing some problem. Forget about corona for now. Okay, there is one X disease which, you know, it is a lung condition, primarily lung condition, but you also know from clinical evidence that it is causing some diarrhea. ठीक है, तो दोनों है। आप क्या करते हैं, रिसर्च करते हैं, रिसर्च करने के बाद यू आर फाइंडिंग अ न्यू ड्रग, लेट्स सपोज दिस इज D1, ठीक है। what you do is, you based on this research, you simply apply the drug. That will be utilization of research. Whereas if you take the same research and you combine it with clinical experience, matlab, let's suppose someone has already used the D1 drug and maybe it is working better in combination with some other drug, ठीक है, that comes under clinical experience. और patient preference के मतलब ये है कि let's suppose the D1 drug, even though it is useful, patients do not prefer it, or there is a new adverse effect that is occurring in a patient because of that D1 drug. That application of that knowledge will be evidence-based practice. You are acting based on evidence rather than just research. That is the difference between research utilization and evidence-based practice. Okay, I hope you understood this. Research utilization is simply taking what data you get in a lab or research data that you get in a lab and applying it. Evidence-based practice is when you combine that research with evidence, clinical experience or experimental data, whatever you are getting actually in a hospital. Okay, maybe experience that you have while working, that will also count. Now, there are three main types of research utilizations. Okay, three types of RU. Okay. The first one is indirect RU. There is indirect RU, there is direct RU, research utilization, then there is persuasive RU. ठीक है, 2 and 3. इन लोगों में डिफरेंस ये है, indirect RU is basically, let's suppose we are talking with respect to nursing itself. It involves changing a thing, the thought process of a nurse. ठीक है, you are basically giving a nurse new ideas about research so that they might apply it later on in their experience, in their clinical experience. So let's suppose you are telling a nurse that, see, in this process you can use it in this way. For example, while giving what do you call, while checking for blood pressure, it is easier. Let's suppose this is several years ago. Instead of directly using a sphygmomanometer, it is better if you vertical, or let's suppose when you are trying to inject, rather than injecting directly, it is better if you tie a tonic vent and try to inject. And you are only telling this information to a nurse rather than showing it to her. Okay? You are indirectly putting the idea in the nurse's head. Okay, so this is only one example. You are giving the idea of any new research that you have read. Let's suppose you have gone and read something new about one particular topic and you think that the idea is promising. So what you do is you go to a hospital and tell that to your nurse or tell that to someone else. That is indirect utilization of research. Okay? You are not utilizing research, you are telling someone else who might apply that research. Then there is direct research utilization, wherein you yourself are applying the research. Okay? You are directly using the findings upon a patient, giving them patient care. Then there is persuasive research utilization. यहाँ पर क्या कर रहे हैं? You are persuading someone else, mostly someone who is in a decision making process. So for example, let's suppose you are trying to uh, tell that there are better types of needles or there are better types of drugs of the same. Let's suppose there are six or three different brands of penicillin, penicillin 1, penicillin 2 and penicillin 3. ठीक है, तीन अलग type of brands है penicillin के, same drug. Now based on research you have found that P3 is the best among these penicillins. Okay, best formulation of penicillin. Currently in your hospital P1 is being used. ठीक है, for example. तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं, इन persuasive research utilization you go to the vertical hospitals management or you go to your seniors and you persuade them that see P3 is more better than is much more better than P1, we should start using P3. You will tell this to decision maker who might change the policy, okay, or who might change the practices in that hospital or in that nursing care center. Okay, that is research utilization. Now, there can be a few barriers to research utilization. They are research related barriers or nurse related barriers or organizational barriers. First of all, research related barrier में सबसे important barrier वो रहता कि there is lack of valid and trustworthy research studies. There are a lot of hoax research studies, ठीक है, which have not been published. There is a lot of vertical problems while performing the research. They are covering a lot of data. They are doing a lot of hanky panky stuff. ठीक है, the research is not trustworthy. That is one of the biggest problems. And there is not enough research done on that same topic. Both of them can be a problem. Let's suppose it is a very exclusive topic which only a very few people have done research on. So you will not get a lot of data with that respect. That is research related barrier. Then there can be nurse related barriers as well. For example, if they are not getting proper instruction, lack of formal instruction in research and skills to judge a particular study. अब मैं आपको एक रिसर्च स्टडी दिया या एक रिसर्च पेपर दिया, तो until and unless you know how to perform research, how to read an article, how to extract data from that article, you will not be able to get the vertical advantage of reading the article and applying the data in the article, and you will not acquire the skill wherein you'll be able to tell whether that study has merits or demerits. मतलब वो study अच्छी है नहीं है वो बोल नहीं सकते आप until and unless you are exposed to research. For that I have to let's suppose as an instructor I have to push you into research. ठीक है, at least a little bit I have to push you into research so that you read a few papers every now and then, so that you keep your knowledge updated. Another barrier will be that they are resistant to change. People do not want to study research or people do not want to get into research. That is a problem. Then there can be organizational barriers wherein the organization itself is very resistant to change. They do not want to change. They want to continue their own practices. Okay. So let's suppose in this example itself, the तीन type of penicillins जो थे, P1, P2, P3 है. I am going and telling them P3 is better, but no one is listening to me and they're still using P1. That is an organizational barrier. Or there might be insufficient time. Okay, they might not be able to apply research in the enough amount of time. They might not have enough amount of time to apply that research and try to test the results of the research. There might be lack of motivation. There might be constraints and resources. They might not have enough amount of resources to allocate to do all of that vertical application that you want to do. Okay, they simply might not have the money. Let's suppose that is one resource. Okay, they might not have the money to allocate P3. That is one resource constraint. Or there might be lack of strong leadership where the leader is not taking a strong decision strong enough to change the pattern of that nursing home or change the pattern of that hospital. Okay, so those are the barriers related to research utilization. First is research related barrier where there is not enough research and there is no credible research. Second is nurse related barrier where either the nurse is not being instructed properly, wherein they do not get any interest in research itself and they do not read a research. Neither do they know how good a study is. If they don't read, they will not know. And they are resistant to change. Or it can be an organizational barrier where either there is lack of leadership or they do not have resources or they do not have enough amount of time or there is resistance from the organization itself. They simply do not want to change. So those are the barriers to research utilization. Any doubts with research utilization? What is research utilization? What is EBP? Anything with that aspect?